Welcome to Groundswell.
This is a space for conversations at the edge of change, where patterns of culture and consciousness shape the world we're actually living in.
I'm Chloe.
And I'm Sam.
You can find us at groundswellcommons.com to learn more about what we're building or join us in conversation on the podcast.
Let's get into the shift.
Our trajectory of the podcast because we were meeting and working together and the podcast was not even on like our radar really. Like I had like mentioned it kind of and you were like not ready to hear it yet, I think.
I'm feeling so activated literally by what you just said. Can
Okay,
I
tell
can
us.
I okay. So I have talked about a podcast like in recent years. So it's something I always kind of like felt, but to your exact point, when we first started working together, I wasn't ready. But it wasn't the time, right? So like where I'm kind of always like feeling into the timelines, I'm like,
Mm,
I know it's there. Like I know it's like on the timeline. It's just the meeting, it's like that mind body connection where like your body is finally caught up to what your mind already knows.
yes. I feel like that describes so good like what I'm experiencing now, where it's like the whole spiral situation of like I almost it feels like you come back around to a lot of the same lessons, but like in a more embodied way. Like I think that is the spiral. It's like returning to things and then feeling them in your soul for the first time, you know? And we're so kept in our brains. Like we're literally taught to just like exist in our brain that we're like, yeah, we're disembodied.
Well, and I've shared this before that like I will go back and like listen to recordings of us speaking, of me speaking, because I believe like I am hearing a message from my higher self at that time. And so sometimes like coming back and like listening to something and illuminating that to where you're just like now a witness of it, like infuses, activates something. And that's I before hopping on today, the ritual I was doing this morning was like I showered and I listened to the last podcast that we dropped, and that was literally what we were talking about, is kind of this like arc of transformation of like literally like where it feels like a major awakening, like you're like going up, and then you reach a point where you're so integrated that when you start to learn other things, and this is a constant thing that happens, right? Like as we're learning, it's not just like this peak that like never keeps going. But then that integration piece, once the body meets the mind, it's like, duh, like I've always known this. I've always known this to be true. I now just trust it. I believe in it. And like this is the light within me.
Yeah. And I think that that's like the way that we're both feeling this in our own ways, in our own bodies. I think that like a lot of other people are probably feeling this too. And it's like we're being activated because we're entering Leo season, which is like, I feel like our yearly little like push. Like we're like, yeah, no, we need to like boost ourselves and believe in ourselves again to accomplish the mission, you know?
Yeah, well, we're in the sun's native placement. The sun is the star of Leo. So Leo is everybody's star season because we're all infused with the sun. Like we actually literally need the sun to survive. So we need our light force. And that's a lot of what we are really interested in talking about today, which is like the sun entering Leo, what Leo means in terms of like light force. And I love some of the research we were doing before this. Like it's the animating energy of life. Like it's what
Mm,
animates us. And I like literally love that visual so much. And so again, as like rather than thinking of the sun or light as something that we receive, like
mm,
remembering that it's something we embody, It's something we cultivate. It's something we emit to then share with people. We are the
Yeah.
light.
When we
We're
remember
starseeds.
that we're the light, we embody the light. I love that.
Well, and when we were hopping onto this call, I literally entered like feeling so emotional, and I was telling you, I just like started crying, and I was like, the reason I am crying is like I am so proud of myself. I'm so proud of who I am, like how far I've come, and yeah,
Maybe could you make the connection to? I feel like this is bringing up so much for you because Leo is your 12th house stellium.
literally. Ah,
So
okay.
how are you like interpreting working through like a lot of those things, or how are they being activated by? And then it's also Jupiter is in Leo now too. So I think like both of those things.
It's all the things, and I'm going to, be crying my way through this because I've healed a lot and I'm healing a lot. But so the way the energy shows up for me, like literally physically, is like a clock. So as the clock strikes, all of those things are activated. So yesterday, we're just moving energy. Yesterday, the sun entered Leo, and for me, Leo houses, for one, it's in the 12th house. So it's basically the house of the shadows, the house of the unseen. And light is not without its shadow. That's literally like yin and yang. So I'm like
Mm,
literally like meeting this like massive harmony of my shadow and my shadow force and my light force. And so when the sun entered Leo, it activated my Jupiter, which is the timing of the now for the collective. So the way Jupiter is positioned in the sky right now in Leo was my birth planet. So I'm having a Jupiter return. I'm
yeah.
having an expansion turn. And then also Mercury, so the planet of communication, and Venus, the planet of love, are colliding with, are being illuminated like so hard right now. And the most, what I feel is like the most major archetype, or the one that I've been working with the longest, that's in this conglomerate, is Chiron. And Chiron is the wounded healer, the wounded teacher. And so the ways in which I have healed myself, I now know my it is my right to share my healing with other people by just being in my own light.
It's your gift. Like you're actually like responsible for to share it. And like if you
Yes.
think about it, so many people that are listening right now are probably have Chiron and Leo too, because it's like a lot of our friends, and we know based on their charts that is true
Yes.
for them. So it's like, yeah, I think this is like a connecting for a lot of people. You being able to like share this, so yeah, it's so cool.
Well, and that's our role too as chain breakers. Like we're speaking to a generation as one of that generation. Like our messages do not come without experience. Like
Mm,
we speak from a place of experience, and we're learning as we go.
yeah,
Like we do
we're
not have the answers.
we're we're just trying to embody it as much as we can along the way. And like I think that I just feel continuously more embodied. I feel like that's like my shift every time I have this. And I think that so my Leo is my third house, which has a lot to do with like your communication and like amplifying my voice about things, you know? So I also feel it, but in just like such a different way, you know? I think that this like it hits like a lot of like the unseen subconscious, which like we know from previous episodes is where you literally live.
Well, and I'm
You,
realizing too that yours is like the student,
mm,
because the third
yeah,
house is early learning. So you what you're embodying for us, what you're showing for us, what you're illuminating to us is the energy of the learner.
like I think it's the student teacher axis, right? Because of the ninth house.
Yeah. Well,
and
in
and
10th
then
house.
those are my nodes also. So it's like, and the Gemini Sagittarius that I have a lot of both of are also like the teacher student. So that's almost like my story is that like I'm the teacher and the student.
Yes, exactly.
I'm both.
Well, and that's also kind of this energy of Leo is like being able to question a perceived authority, because
Mhm.
we are our own authorities. Like we know our truths, we know our pathways. We just have to like trust them. And so if any noise, and noise has come up in the last few days, but if any outside noise is fettering your self-trust, like inquire further, like get curious.
I was just thinking about how like there is a lot of like ancient connections to people like worshiping the sun. And then it kind of made the connection to like, well, if the sun is also us, then it's like just unblocking our sun so that we can use that like unlimited energy too. Like I told you that in the Dolores Cannon book that I was listening to, like someone that she talks to while they're in like a past life regression, they talked about the fact that like the concept that we understand as spaceships were actually like flown or like moved by people's just like mental energy. And then that was also how the pyramids were built.
Mm.
That they had people who were literally focusing on them and then making them go a certain way, which is kind of wild to think about.
Okay, I'm making a lot of connections right now. Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay.
I know it's deep.
No, it's so deep, Chloe, because you know what I just remembered is today. Is it today? Am I going crazy? Is today Thursday?
Yeah, today's
Where is
Thursday.
it? Okay, wait, hold on. Today is the vortex of Sirius. The vortex of Sirius is opened. And it's the Lumerian New Year.
Oh my god.
So literally that is also Syrian technology. Literally being able to focus your attention to literally create form. And
It's like not only did they make us like forget who we are, but they made us like forget how much control we have over everything, you know, or like how much power when we focus with intention. And like, yeah.
literally that
And
our reality is literally our making. Okay, so Michael Jackson said the star of Sirius is open and I'm here to show myself again. That was the channel that I just felt.
okay.
But it's clearly happening, right? Because for a few weeks now, you have been dismantling the propaganda around Michael Jackson. And when you first shared that with me, I was taken aback. I was like, okay, I'm going to sit with this because there's a lot that we've been told. There's a lot, quote unquote, that I've seen, right? Also remembering that everything is curated. And so you planted a seed several weeks ago and have been literally like deep in the Michael Jackson exploration, energy exploration. And it's taken me a little bit of a while to get there, but remembering that he is actually a star seed, he was a force of light, and the powers that be actually killed him, executed him, and
Mhm.
made him out to be somebody that he wasn't. And like, so what I'm getting at as far as form creation, and you can run with this further, but as far as form creation goes, so the collective is having a major shift around Michael Jackson, right? He's coming back into the collective psyche as a force of love, genuinely. And you
Hurting.
showed me
He was literally the first thing that you typed. It was the first thing that came up when you searched just M.
literally, yes. And you showed me this video of a collective celebrating him in London and singing his song, Earth Song. And you can see in the sky a rainbow literally start to form. Like, It was in that moment that my heart cracked open to it and really realized that, like, for one, the amount of force, the amount of love and light force it takes to like create a rainbow, create form, is like is what he did. He did that for us. He showed us the light in the sky, the rainbow in the sky, what love can
Yeah,
do, what light can do.
yes, he
Gosh,
did. And like they might have killed his physical body, but he lives on in the unseen, And like he's here with us.
totally.
We literally both had dreams about him. Like he's here to
It's so much. It's so deep because it's been so wrong.
I know, and it's like crazy to see how actually fucked up it is, and like also to look at how clear it is that I mean, they were obviously trying to pull him down because he was a powerful black man. Like it's so clear now, and then also like the fact that like that all started during that cancer was it the cancer new moon, and like there
Yeah.
was something about when we like had looked into like what the cancer new moon themes were like with all the transits, and one of them was like kind of revisiting something and realizing something that's like completely different than what it was. And I'm like, that's so true. Because it's like, I never really did research on it, but also that happened during a time where we didn't have access to information in the same way that we do now. So
Right.
our entire perspective of the situation was dependent on
Media.
the mass media, which we know is super corrupt. Like people
Yes.
realize that now, like we're all seeing it clear now, but it was also just as corrupt then. So it's like, and then just seeing it how clearly it was. I mean, if you listen to any of his music, like I saw this list that was like none of his music promotes doing drugs. I mean, Beat It is literally about like if someone's trying to fight you, just leave.
Overcome it.
Yeah, beat it. Get out of there. Don't
Literally
stick around and try to
crazy.
fight. Yeah, why would you
Yes.
stay in that situation? And then, and it was just like fun and loving music. I mean, Earth song. And then
No,
there's
truly.
like his whole, I think it's the past, present, future, and then also Blood on the Dance Floor. Like Blood on the Dance Floor, I had never heard any of those songs before, which tells you a lot. And that was like literally talking about how Sony was like trying to take him down because he owned so much music. Because he bought masters. I mean, he owned like the Beatles music. He owned,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Eminem made like a derogatory video about him getting burned by the Pepsi commercial, which like I would also say that I don't necessarily not believe that that wasn't like planned. Like I don't know. There's not obviously proof, but like it feels weird to me. It feels like people were really out to get him at any opportunity, and it's just like that is so sad. And like, yeah, he just operated so high, but yeah, I mean, he's like
Yeah.
a modern day prophet, in my opinion. Like he embodied what we're all supposed to be doing. And that's why he had so many fans, like before social media. Like it was actually, everyone knew who he was. And there was not like the internet for a lot of time that he was famous, you know? Like
Yeah.
the purport, like the scales of it are just so crazy. But yeah, I love Michael Jackson.
Well, and the thought and the feeling that I'm having come up right now is like a conversation like this is a Leo conversation of the time, right? Where we're like perhaps deconstructing stories that we've been told, where like to say this is outing us, right? Is like putting in a position to potentially be criticized because of the story that has historically surrounded Michael Jackson, right? And so again, like Leo is about standing up for what you believe in, no matter the noise, like no matter what is going on outside. And that is not to say that you're not listening to other people and you're not like hearing other perspectives, but you're still discerning and you're still staying in your center about it and you're strong about that.
Feel like too, like the supportive element that I kind of keep coming back to in my own realization of I'm like, oh, I'm embodying this now. Like, oh, this is
Mm.
I'm doing it for the first time. Like I was able to recognize a lot of these things for a while, but now like they're in my body and it's controlling how I'm acting and like reading situations. And I think it's the Neptune in Aries. Because Neptune's been in Pisces for like 14 years. That's a long time,
Well, Neptune
actually.
in Aries and Uranus and Gemini, both those are
Yeah.
generational shifts. And so there's shifts into like literally being exactly who you are unapologetically and also speaking, using your voice. Like your sound and light are literally the ways in which we heal our body. Sound and light, it's how we move energy. And so by using your voice, it's cathartic. It's
Mm,
literally it's an energetic emission.
I love it. And I mean, everyone has so many interesting things to share, but they've been like taught that it's, our realization yesterday. Okay. Do you want to talk about how it was like the writing process for you a little bit? Because I was like, I think the connection to the use of I was like, blew my mind a little bit.
Mm, yeah. So I've always loved writing. Writing words have always been a part of my soul, a part of my spirit. And you had offered as part of our work that I start writing on our Substack. And so I felt the correctness of that. And yet I was feeling like I was efforting a lot as far as figuring out like what I wanted to write about, even though I have like literally infinite um, ideas and sensations that I want to share.
Literally infinite.
Infinite. Yeah, like I am constantly ideating.
We have a parking lot list that is pages long. You were like struggling to write because you had it written in first person. The reason that you have it written in first person is because our schools literally teach you to not write in first person. Like the way that that went through my body, because like, my last year of teaching, I had them write personal narratives. It's like I didn't even like it's crazy how revolutionary it is to just like talk about your own stories.
Well, okay, yeah. So to bring it back, I literally just ended up having this like realization, and it wasn't even like this major click. It was just like what I realized I was doing.
Okay.
And I just started writing in first person. But the reason I was blocked is because, just like you said, we've always been told not to talk about ourselves, that talking about ourselves is selfish, egotistical, is narcissistic, just like, all of these were manipulative. Like, I don't know, just like all of these words that we throw around when we think someone is taking up too much space. And so,
Period.
period. So, again, like bringing it back to Leo and realizing the one thing that I can speak to clearly and cleanly is my experience. And
Hmm.
so once I dropped into the state of writing about my experience and how it connected to my reality in the world, my perception of the world, the writing flowed. Like it was easy. It was my
Yeah.
lived experience.
So what's interesting for me is that I feel like sometimes people have like polarized opinions about Leos. And like that's what I was
Mm.
gonna say is basically like the shadow part of Leo, I think is like kind of or I think that you need to look at your shadow in yourself when a Leo rubs you the wrong way. Because I've always had like a lot of like Leo female friends. Like honestly, probably 50% of my like good friends at some point have been Leos. Like I love a Leo. They remind me what I'm supposed to be in myself, right? Like that
Mm,
we're the stars, the sun and the
yes.
stars. And
Yes.
so yeah, so I think that like when in your personal life, if you were like navigating this, like you need to think like if someone being themselves is affecting you, if that's making you feel like you need to be judgmental or mean to them or like take them down a notch in some way, like I think that that's like the shadow that you need to look at in yourself. It's like, why are you so afraid of being yourself that you have to pull other people down, right?
Yes.
I feel like
Yes.
that kind of gets into like what the like a little bit of the shadow, right? Like of just like I think sometimes being in the light means also like too for Leos or anyone with like feeling this confidence energy. It's just like remembering that when you shine bright, like people are going to try to take you down a notch.
Always. I mean, that's like the counter force of nature is like if you shine really bright, someone somewhere, some collective along the way, that disempowers them. And so their, counteraction force is evil. Like there is also just evil in the world. And something that you mentioned as far as like external noise goes is that like the internet, for example, like it's mostly bots. It's not even like real people. So just like remembering what is noise versus
Yeah.
what is in within you. What is the light within you? What is your vitality in service of life?
And it's like there's always going to be naysayers, but it doesn't mean that you should like dim your light or feel a certain way about you. Like you know you. And it's like I think that's kind of has to do a little bit with Michael Jackson where it's like he's shown so bright that he was taken advantage of in a lot of he was done wrong in a lot of ways, and I don't think that that's like that's more of like a symptom of like what our world has, but I also think like we're getting invigorated with the love center from Michael Jackson because like we're moving into a paradigm where people are like learning how to act like more authentically and more loving, right?
Totally. I mean, Leo is the heart. So it's the sun and it's the heart. It's the light and the love force.
Um, Beautiful.
I love this little line here that says Leo reminds us that our unique essence isn't meant to be hidden. So let your gifts become an offering, trusting that when we allow ourselves to shine authentically, we naturally create warmth and permission for others to do the same. So remembering that you're a mirror too.
And like, what was the like line from the reading that we did last night when we did that?
I even brought my mirror.
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah. Well, I almost feel like us filming is a little bit of a mirror because it's like you're kind of just like I don't know. Sometimes I'm just talking to myself. I'm hearing you, but I'm looking at me.
Yeah. The sun doesn't rise because it has proven itself worthy. It rises because shining is simply its nature. So the
Yes.
sun rises because shining is simply its nature. I love
And we're
that.
all supposed to be shining.
If this resonated, we'd love for you to like, subscribe, comment, or share it with someone in your world.
You can find everything we're building at groundswellcommons.com, including ways to engage and connect with us.
You can also work with me, Chloe, at chloehodson.org.
And me, Sam, at futureancestorsproject.org.
Thanks for being part of the shift.